The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, and welcome to the Metro MLS training webinar for the Introduction to Flex MLS. In this webinar, we're just going to cover the basics of Flex MLS, logging in, changing your profile, setting your preferences, the search menu, how to search for properties, and navigating the search results screen. So let's begin. So when you want to log into Flex MLS, you want to come to the web address metromls.com. So you can open up any web browser, whether it's Chrome, Firefox, or Microsoft Edge. Okay, so you enter that in there, and then when you come to this home screen where you can see the outside of our office building with the big blue MLS sign, you know you're at the right place. So before we get logged in, just some things to review on our home page here. We've got our sold year-to-date ticker. So this is giving you our sold year-to-date for this year, last year, and the year before. This block down here are our upcoming classes, but will be listed in here. You can also access our class schedule under member support and under training classes. So we'll open you up to the current month here. Our training classes are typically put on the schedule of the 16th of the current month. So to go to April, you just click on April down here, and this will list what we have available. And then you can always kind of click back to go back to where you came from. All of the technical and training support information is under member support. So if you ever need to watch a training video or find training guides, you can hover your mouse over member support and click on FlexMLS manuals. This will give you a list of PDF guides in PDF format in alphabetical order on pretty much everything that we cover in the system. So if you wanted to learn how to configure your general preferences, which we're going to go over, you can just click on that and it will open up that document in a new window. And you can always save it to your desktop if you wanted to save it to your desktop or print it out. Okay. Alrighty. Also, under member support, we have the FlexMLS video library. These are just short little snippets, about 10 minutes or less, of videos that we've done in our coffee break webinars. Recorded classes are here under FlexMLS webinars. So these will they'll list in order of the menu. So once we get logged in, I'll show you the menu and you'll see exactly what I mean. So each menu item has a category. So it's listed how the menu is fleshed out. So underneath dashboard, these are your choices that you have. Underneath add change, underneath search. So you can always come here and click open a video and watch it. It's open 24/7. You can pause it, replay it. It's all in your hands. And there's a next page. So once you get down to the bottom, there's a next that will take you to another page of videos. Under training and outreach is a list of a description of each of our classes. When you do sign up for the classes and you click open that class on the calendar block here, it will give you a description, a brief description of what that class is about. But if you wanted to read the list before you visit the calendar, you're welcome to come here and read the list here. Under news is where our flex tips are housed. Now, approximately twice a month, sometimes more, sometimes less, we'll send out a flex tip to membership. Now, we don't send out anything basically like, hey, how you doing? Typically, it's letting you know if there's going to be a system update, a change, something that's going to affect your business workflow. So when you see that email come into your inbox labeled flex tip, if you don't have time to read it at that moment in time, don't delete it. Review it later because it's going to be something that you need to know. Whether it's a system update, we're going down for maintenance, something like that. And they're always housed here. So if you accidentally delete it out of your inbox, you can always come here to our home site, go to news, and go to Flex Tip. All right? So we're going to get logged in. So your login button is right here, FlexMLS member login. So when you click that login button, it's already logged in, so I'm going to log myself out here. When you click that login button, it's going to bring you to this screen where you can log in. All right. So your username will always start with the letters in lowercase, cannot be mixed or total caps. It has to be all lowercase. M as in Mary, E as in Edward, T as in Tom, a period, and then that agent code that you were assigned or that you have. It could be 4 digits, it could be 5 digits, it could be more, it could be a mix of letters and numbers. You want to type that in there, whatever you were assigned when you got your membership. Okay? I'm going to remove that. My account's a little bit different since I work here. And then before I click next, you can always check Remember Me. This will remember your username. Our site does not remember passwords. So if you're prompted to save your password, that's a function of your browser, and that's outside of FlexMLS. So I'll click next. Then it'll give you the welcome screen. It'll say hi with your name, and then that'll be your ID. And then it wants you to enter in your passwords. Password requirements, minimum of 8 characters with at least 1 letter and 1 number. Okay, and it is case sensitive. And you're required to change your password every 90 days. Okay, so whatever that was in that membership email that you got, that they said that your password was going to be, you're going to use that. Once you log in with that password, you'll be taken to a screen where it'll ask you to create a new password, because that's just to get in that first time. So current password will be that password that was in your membership email, and then new password and retype password is where you're creating your own password. All right. If you did not receive the membership email, call our data integrity department and you can speak to someone there. Those emails are generated from that department and membership. Okay. So once you get logged in, you'll see a screen similar to mine. If it doesn't look exactly like mine, don't worry. As long as you can see this MLS WIS with the state of Wisconsin and your menu button, you're at the right place. Okay. Also, before we get started, I forgot to show you back on the Metro MLS screen. And when you log in, these 2 tabs will be there for you. So if you do need to toggle back and forth between FlexMLS and our Metro MLS homepage, you can. Whenever you get started, after you watch this video, there is a video that we do show you in the training class. It's roughly about 10 minutes. It's located here under Member Support and FlexMLS Webinars. This is the video right here, Introduction to Listing Policy. This will cover the basics and the rules of entering in a listing in FlexMLS. And I'm giving you some tips to work with so you don't get fined. Okay. Also, under member support in the classes, when you come here to the office, under FlexMLS manuals, we give you an intro manual. So when you come here, you can always access these manuals online. I'm going to scroll down and it's called Entire Intro Manual. This is the manual that we give you a hard copy of when you come here for class. So just go to that site, you can watch that video, and then you can grab the manual for your reference. If you'd ever like, right now, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we aren't accepting visitors at the office. So if you like one, call Data Integrity and ask if they can mail one out to you. All right, coming back over to Flex here. All right, so we'll start with preferences. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your personal preferences, like your email address and your phone number, are correct, because when you send out emails in the system and everything you put in, that's your signature information, and you want that correct. So to access that, you'll go to Menu, and then underneath the Preferences menu, just scroll down here, you're going to click on My Profile. When you click on My Profile, it'll bring you to this screen here. You'll go into Quick Profile Maintenance. This is where your main information, your signature information, is housed. So this is your name. This is grayed out. You can't change that there. Okay, so when you applied for your license and membership with the board, that's where it's getting that name from. If you ever need a name change, like you got married or divorced, just call Data Integrity here at our office and they'll help you get started with that. Next is the marketing name information. So you can see, like, I have a really long name here, and sometimes I don't always feel like writing that. So maybe for marketing purposes, for my business purposes, I'd like to just be Angela Marshall. So I can, if I would like to, make that my marketing name when I print reports or send out emails. Okay. Next is the email address. This is your business email address. So when you want clients and agents to contact you in regards to your real estate business, this is the email address that you want in there. Next is your phone number. This is your primary phone number. So this will be the phone number that will display everywhere your phone number will display in FlexMLS. This should be your first point of contact landline number. So if you have an office phone, you want that to be this number here. There's another spot in the system where you can put in your mobile phone, and then it will show where the mobile phone numbers are placed. If your mobile phone number is the only phone number that you use, is your primary number, then you can add that mobile phone in here. Just make sure whatever your primary phone number is this field. Next, for website. If you'd like to enter in your website or your office's website and you want it to be a link in your signature whenever communications goes out from you in FlexMLS, you can add that in there if you'd like. Next would be your license number. This field is filled in by membership upstairs, so you wouldn't be able to change that. Next, address. If you'd like to add your office's brick and mortar address in here, or if you have a PO mailing box or whatever, you can add that in there. It's not necessary, but you can add that. If you'd like to enter in any languages that you speak, you can enter that here. There's a box where you can enter your bio. Next is the agent portal settings. This is another class unto itself. So if you ever would like to learn about the contact portal class, you can visit those training videos under the webinar section, or once we are taking classes here again in the office, you can visit that. But this is basically your agent URL that your customers would sign into, and they'll be able to look at their listings within that portal account. Next is professional designations. If you've earned any of these designations and you'd like for them to show in your signature when you email or print things from FlexMLS, you can do that. You can simply select what it is that you like and click Add to put it over here in the Selected menu. If you'd like for them to appear in a certain order, maybe I want ALC first, I can select that designation and I can move it in a position where I want it to go. Maybe I've added something by mistake, or I thought it was something else. I would like to remove it. You just select what it is and you hit remove. Okay. And then finally is the display options. This section determines how your system name, if you've entered in a marketing name, how it displays throughout the system. Okay. So whenever you input a listing into FlexMLS, would you like it to show it was listed by your system name? Was it listed by your marketing name? Or was it listed by both of those names? You can have both of those names if you'd like to, but just keep in mind, the more characters that you add for that listing, the less room you'll have. It might look a little squishy depending on how long those names are. That's up to you. And then if you have designations entered here and you'd like for them to appear behind the listing name, you just pop a check there. Next is the footer. Whenever you create a report in FlexMLS, at the bottom it'll say prepared by your name on this date. Again, choose your system name, marketing name, or both, and include the designations. Public view is the customer's version. Private view is the internal members version. Okay. So once you've made your selections in this screen, you simply click Save, and then it updates that information in your FlexMLS account immediately. Now, there have been times where we've had members that have like fat-fingered a phone number or an email address, and they didn't find out till a little bit later, and they needed to go back and change it in their preferences and their profile. But they've worried because it's, oh, the wrong phone number went out on this email that I sent a couple days ago. How do I resend that? You don't have to resend anything. On emailed links, whether if they're manually sent or sent by subscription email, the information, your preferences information is dynamic. So if you've made a change within the FlexMLS account, it's changed it in that link over on your customer side. So you don't have to worry about resending out any information to update it. It's updated already if your customer still has that email. All right. The next section that I'm going to show you is adding phone numbers into your account. So you click on my phone numbers. So this is where you can add fax numbers or your mobile number. So I've got a few phone numbers entered here. So that's my cell, and that's the phone number I've got listed. This is my office phone. This is pointing back to that quick profile maintenance, the primary number there. That's why you've got, this is your primary phone number. And then I've entered in a fax number. Okay, so to enter in a phone number, you click New. It'll ask you what type of number are you entering in. You can choose from the drop-down menu what you'd like to enter in. For description, this is bolded because this field is required, so it wants characters in there. This could be, work cell, personal cell, whatever you want to put in there. All right. If that phone number that you're going to enter in has an international code, there's a box for that if you need it. Then next, for the phone number field, the area code, 3-digit exchange, and the 4 digits there. If there's an extension for that phone number, there's a box there. And is this your primary phone? You want to leave that set to no, because what I showed you previously in your quick profile maintenance screen, that's your primary phone number. So if you were to change another phone number over here to primary, it's going to screw the other one up. All right. And then once you hit next, I'm just going to type in something in there. Oops. And then it saves the number. Okay. If you realize, oh, I made a mistake in the number, you can just select what number it is. You can hit edit, and then you can make the change and then save the change. So now that's updated. If you don't use the phone number anymore, you don't want the entry that's here, that's what the remove is for. Okay, and then you can just hit done once you're done with this screen. All right. Next, I'm going to show you how to load your personal photo and logo maintenance. So I'm going to click on the button here, personal photo and logo maintenance. So wherever your logo and photo are displayed in FlexMLS, on flyers, on promotional report, on CMA cover pages, within the email, this is where it pulls from. So to add your photo, you'll come in here and you'll click New. And then it's asking you, what is it that you're adding? Are you adding a logo? That could be your company's logo. Or are you adding a photo of yourself? Then you give it a description. I'm just going to type in me. All right. When you enter in the photo file, it needs to be in JPEG format or PNG format. So now you'll use this box to point to the location of where that saved photo is. So when you click choose file, it's looking, asking you, okay, where is this photo at? So if you're on a Windows machine, or I believe an Apple too, you look in your directory and find out where you've saved that photo to. In this case, I'm going to select the pictures here, and then let's say, hey, that's me. And I'll grab it, and then I'll hit add. So there's the photo. Okay? And then if you've updated your photo, you can come here to remove the old photo. Just removing some other stuff that I got here. Or you can select edit. Hey, Sana. And then you can choose and update it with a different file and save it to update the photo. All right. Okay, and then when you're done, you can click done. Last is security. This is where you can manually change your password for your FlexMLS account, and you can also add a two-step verification security to your account if you'd like. So here, that's your username, okay? You probably won't have that. I believe my permissions are different than yours. So if you'd like to change your password, you click here. It'll bring you to the change password screen. You enter the password that you were able to last log into your account with, and then you create your new password, and then you type it again to confirm it. Okay. This has been updated. They have to be at least 8 characters with at least 1 letter and 1 number. I'll have to take an image of that and let them know that that is not updated, that verbiage. Okay, and then when you hit update password, that resets your 90 days. So you're back on day 1 and it won't ask you to change it again for another 90 days. All right, I'm just going to go back over here to preferences, my profile, and security. The second thing here is the two-step verification. This is disabled by default for everyone. If you would like to enable it, this will allow you to put basically 2 passwords on your account. So if you enable this and I were to log out and log back in, I would log in and enter in my password. Then a code would be text to my mobile phone. And then once I got the code, then it'll have a screen on here asking me to enter in that code. So if you'd like to add an extra layer of protection on your account, go for it. All right. Alrighty, I'm just gonna back out here. All right, so now I'm gonna show you the general preferences screen. So I'm gonna click on menu, and then underneath the preferences section again, I'll click on general preferences. So these are preferences that you can configure for your FlexMLS account. And I'll show you going back and forth, showing you the feature within the real quote unquote Flex, so you can see what it is. Default font size, you can change your font in your browser. So I'm using Google Chrome. It's easier to do it here. So if you click here, you'll have a zoom, and then you can make things bigger for yourself or smaller for yourself. Same thing if you're using Microsoft Edge, it's a 3-dot button, same thing. Firefox, the button is 3 lines. You click on that and then it's a zoom where you can adjust it there. So it's a lot easier there. Here, public version and private version. The default for listing reports from the search results screen. So I'm just going to use my quick launch bar here and do a quick search just to show you what that is referencing to. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. Let me just open up a new tab. Sometimes I move a little too fast. Alrighty, so this 2 settings right here are referencing when you click the detail link and it's showing you the report for the listing. This is asking when you're within your FlexMLS account and you're looking at the data sheet for the property, do you want to look at the public version of the report or do you want to look at the private version of the report? All of this information that you see right here is private version information. That's basically privy to the realtors. Public version, I'll just switch it right here just to show you what that looks like, is the customer's version. So you won't see all of that other information. So because you're within your FlexMLS account, you typically want this set to private. Okay. Next, choose a default listing report. So mine is set to the full report additional photos. So I'm just going to switch tabs again. So that's the report that you see right here. It gives you the main list photo and then the next 2 photos in that listings photos list. So that's why it's called additional photos. Full report is giving you all of the details about the property. But the beauty thing about this report, this right here is your business card. No matter whose property This is right here. It can be a totally different agent outside of your office. Your business card will always appear at the upper right frame of that photo. This is, I personally think, is the best report to use when you send emails to a customer or you're printing them out to give the people, because I know I have a tendency to lose business cards. I take business cards and I always lose them or I never have them on me. If you've got a customer, you email listings to a customer and they decide that they want to, do a little driving tour and look at things, they may be in the car and wanting to call you to say, hey, we're looking at this property that you sent us over on 123 Main Street. We'd like to set up a showing. But if they don't have their business card with you or that your information, well, maybe we can wait till we get home or whatever. This way, if you email them this report, if they print it out, you're always here. If they're looking at it on their phone, they'll see this sheet when they open it up. You're always here. You're always there attached to that listing that they're interested in. So that's why this is one of my favorite reports in the system. Okay. But you can choose any report that's in this list to use. So, just kind of get to know them, here. And you don't need to change it here and then go look at it out on the search results screen. You can always, you have access to that same list right here. So if you're like, oh, what does all photos full report look like? You can just change it right here and you can figure out what it is that you like from this search results screen. Once you find the report that you like, then you can change it over here. And this is not written in stone. You may like it this week and may like something else next week. All right. Next, you may not have these options depending on how long you've had membership with us. uh the full search module, if you don't have full search legacy within your account, then you're a newer member. This full search legacy is being retired in November of this year. So newer members, this wasn't installed to their FlexMLS account. So you can use your property searches for quick search. But for those of you who do have full search legacy, we're recommending that you come here to your general preferences and select quick search. This applies to the edit mode that you are doing your searches in. So just to switch tabs. So I did this search for single family in the zip code of 53207. Let's say I wanted to edit this search and add, some more parameters to it. When I click on edit search here from the search results screen, notice it splits my screen. This is what's referred to as a quick search. Your parameter panel will be over here where you can enter in additional parameters, and then the map of the listings, the matching listings, will be over here. And if you wanted to draw a shape on the map to search only certain geographical areas, you could. So this is a way for you guys who are used to full search to kind of dip your toe or to ease your way into a quick search. So if you like starting off at a full search, but you need to kind of ease your way into getting familiar with a quick search, this is what we're recommending that you do. So I can come here and then I can add whatever parameters that I want to and then view those results. Okay? So again, this preference is referencing to the edit mode from the search results screen. All right. I'm going to move on down to this section, Flex MLS email and print. Please choose the default configuration. So this section is applying to, and I'll switch again, whenever you go into the email button or the print button. Typically, when you're emailing or printing, you're sending to a customer. So that is the version of the data sheet. So remember when I showed you the private version, it was giving you the realtor's information. Public was just the customer version. This is basically saying, what do you want set as your default whenever you come into email button or the print button? So you may want to change that to public. You're not stuck to that. So if you come in here and it's public and you want it to be private, you can always manually switch it in both the email and the print screen. All right. Going back to the preferences here. Next, FlexMLS full and quick search. Please choose MLSs to search by default. We have something that's called inclusive search, and this applies to WireX. What WireX stands for is Wisconsin Real Estate Exchange. What that is a cooperative of us, the Metro MLS, and all minus two of the other MLSs in the state of Wisconsin. When you do a property search within FlexMLS, it's looking at both databases, the Metro MLS, that's your home MLS, and the WireX MLSs. That includes South Central, Northeast, Northwest, Western. It includes all of the other MLSs in Wisconsin with the exception of Door County and Northwoods. Okay, so it's looking for the data. So if you happen to be searching, a certain property type of a certain status in an area, whatever, it will look at just the parameters. And if both Metro and WireX agents have listings in that area that meet that search criteria, they'll come up in your search automatically. That way you don't miss anything. Your customer doesn't miss anything. This setting is ensuring that when you do a property search, is searching both Metro and WireX listings. Okay, so you probably want to keep that set. All right, moving on down. I'm just covering like the important stuff here. Next is the daily hot sheet. You can have a hot sheet emailed to you of your preference. So you can choose a 24-hour hot sheet or a custom hot sheet. That is located when I go to menu. And then underneath the My Market section is the hot sheet. I'm just going to open it up in a new tab so I don't lose where I am. So this is where you can tell it if there's like areas that you search all the time and you just want new listings in a particular area just to be emailed to you. This is where you can tell it to do that. So you can choose your county. I'm just going to choose Waukesha. All right. If you wanted to look for both Metro and WireX counties, that's selected for you automatically by default. And then the property types. Maybe it's vacant land you want to look for. All right, so when I hit done and I run that 24-hour hot sheet, that's setting that hot sheet. So from this point forward, if I have 24-hour hot sheet set here and save it and run that hot sheet for what it is that I want to look for, every night it'll generate a hot sheet for me based on what I ran so I don't have to run it again. It'll just email those listings to me. Same thing for the custom hot sheet setting. So if you set it for custom, let me go back in there and do that again. So I'm just going to open up that hot sheet again. So custom is where you can get a little bit more specific. So you can come here and let's say you wanted to know about all of the new listings and the back on market, starting from, let's say we'll start at the beginning of this week. And then we can do an end date. I'm just going to put to the end of the year. Oh, it won't let me go any further. That's right. You can only run, it's a 45-day maximum that it'll let you run. I'm sorry. Going back. So let's say I wanted to set my hot sheet, a custom hot sheet here, starting from the start date. I'll move the start time to midnight since that's the start of a new day. And I'll leave that to 11:59. And then I'll choose the property types that I want to run it for. So let's say I want to look at single family and condominium in Waukesha County, and then I'll run that quick search hot sheet. So now I have set that hot sheet from the custom here. So now that will be the hot sheet that will get emailed to me, what I just ran there. Okay. So if you don't totally understand it, just play around with it a little bit. All right. Next is the FlexMLS dashboard, listings to expired sold listings range. So I'm going to go back here to my Flex account and I'm just going to refresh my settings to take me out to the dashboard. That setting here, listings to expired sold listings range, applies to the My Listings gadget. Now I'm on a dashboard called Home. you may have a dashboard called MLS, and that's the My Listings gadget there. Or if you're on Classic, and newer members won't have that Classic dashboard, you may just have MLS and Home. So that's this gadget, your listings gadget. Okay, so basically, you can set this gadget to show you listings that will expire in X amount of days under listings to expire. So if I'm a listing agent and I want any listings that I have that are going to expire within the next 7 days or 14 days or 30 days, I can set it to show me those listings here. Okay, so that's kind of a visual reminder that, hey, you've got some listings that are about to expire. So I'll know if I need to extend them or let them expire. The other settings is show listings that were sold in the past. And I think the default is 30 days, but you can move that to whatever you want it to be. So if you've sold a listing, whether if you're on the listing side or the selling side, this will show you those sold listings within that day's range. After that day's range is passed, it'll drop off of that view. All right. All right, moving on. Next is My Listings. This applies to when you click on your menu button and underneath search, when you click on My Listings. If you have any, or if you're on the listing agent side of any listings, this is when that'll show up for you. So this is asking you, when you do have listings, what statuses should be included on that screen. So of course, if you've got active listings or delayed listings or pending listings, you want them to show when you click on My Listings. Anything that's off market, sold, expired, or withdrawn, if you want to see them when you click on the My Listing screen, you select them here. Okay, and then this setting applies to the off market listings. Off market listings older than this many days will not appear on the My Listing screen. So you can choose to have them to show for 14 days, 30 days, whatever number of days you want to see them in that screen. And then after those days expire, they drop off of that view. Okay. Next is the expiring listing notification. This is a reminder email that will get sent to you from the FlexMLS mail system. So if you have a listing that's about to expire within this many days, it will send you one email notification once per day for those 7 days before the expiration date. Once it expires, those emails stop. So you'll get an email every day reminding you it's about to expire, it's about to expire, until the listing expires. So it's kind of a reminder if you need one. You can change this. So if you change it to anything that's more than 7 days, let's say I change it to 10, notice my options change. Send email notification of expiring listings 10 days before the expiration date, and once per day for each of the 7 days preceding the expiration date. So 10 days before that listing is to expire, I'll get an email saying your listing is going to expire in 10 days. Then I won't get another email until it hits that 7th day. Then from that point, the countdown email starts, the 7th day, the 6th day, the 5th day, until that listing expires or I extend it out. All right. Next, the messaging, enable email notifications for. Just verify that you keep this set. Messages sent only to me. When customers and agents use the messaging button within FlexMLS or from their email, this is what allows those messages to come through to you. All right, I'm going to move it on down. Next, for contact management, whenever you create a contact, you can enable reverse prospecting by default when you create it. So this is basically saying when you create a contact, did you want to enable reverse prospecting for that contact? If you want it yes, you can. If you want it no, you don't have to. For more information on reverse prospecting, visit our metromls.com page in the webinars, and that will explain it all. Okay. And then last, first page that's viewed after you log on. So when you log into FlexMLS, remember it took us to our dashboard, that first screen. That's what the default is. When you log in, if you want it to immediately take you to a property search module, the quick search, you can have it set to that. Okay. So once you've made any changes in this screen, you go ahead and you click save, and it saves those changes. And again, you can always go back and edit those changes if you'd like to. All right. So now we're going to review the search menu. All right. So these are the different ways that you can search for properties in the system. So I'm just going to close my additional window here. So when you click on menu, these are all of your search options that you have available to you. Okay. CMA, we're not going to cover because that's a different class in itself. That's basically how to create comparable market analysis. Next is Office Member. And just by the way, you notice some of my things have these little gold stars next to them. Notice that they correspond up here. So if there's items that you find that you use a lot and you want them in your shortcut menu up here, your favorites menu, you can just simply click the star next to that item and it adds that item there. If you decide you don't want it, you can deselect the star and take it off. Okay? So here's Office Member Search. All right. This screen is set to update in the next few weeks. So just if you come in here one day and it looks different, that's why we'll send out a flex tip on that. But if you need to search to find a member, to find an office, to find somebody by phone number, fax, or zip code, you can do that in here. So what I'll do, maybe I got a call from an agent, somebody named Nancy Realtor. I'll just make that up. And I need to verify if they're a member of our FlexMLS before I proceed any further. So I can come in here and type their name, or if they gave me their Med ID, I could type that too. And then I'll hit find. All right, so there's an office called Nancy Realtors. Okay, so I can look and see who that office's members are simply by when I select this, hit show this office's member. So these are all of the members that are listed underneath the Nancy Realtors office. Okay, same thing. If maybe you don't, if somebody said, well, my name is Nancy, and they left a message and you couldn't understand the last name, if you wanted to look up everybody named Nancy, you could like this and try to find them that way. Also, if you get a call from someone that is from another MLS that is not a part of our membership, you can still look up those members. You have this options button right here, and this will WireX checkbox will allow you to look up members from another MLS. Okay? All right. Going back here, let me just grab somebody. So I'm just going to select Nancy Brennan. Okay. So now that I've got Nancy Brennan selected, I can see her profile information all over here. And this is pulling from, remember when we were in the quick profile maintenance, the profile screen, everything that she's entered in that screen will display here. Also, if I wanted to see her listings, over here I've got a panel that I can check to see any status of listings that she had. And if there's off market, I can do the date range if I want to. So when I click on view listings, the way that I have it set, I can see her active, delayed, and pending listings if I need to. Okay? So that's the office member search underneath the search section. Next, office listings, I won't have any, but this is where you can see listings of your office that you're a member of. Okay? And everything will pull up in this search results format where you can look at the detail, the photos, the map, all that good stuff. Same thing when I was explaining my listings to you. When we were in the general preferences screen, these would be listings that you were on the listing agent side. Next, history. If you'd like to look up the history of an address, this is one of the ways that you can do it. So I'll just type in an address here. So I'll put in the house number, the direction, and the street name. I usually don't add boulevard, avenue, anything, because sometimes with the older listings, everybody wasn't entering in the data correctly. All right. So the county that address in is in Milwaukee. The city that address in is also in Milwaukee. You can also enter an MLS number search here or a status change date if you like. All right. So now that I've entered in the address for that property, when I hit next, it's going to bring up the search results for that. So this address, each of these are every time it was listed in our system. You can click this. I'm going to single right click it so I don't lose the screen that I'm on, and open up that data sheet in a new tab if you'd like to. and take a look at all of the information that's here. This is another way that you can look at history. If you were just to simply search on the list number and pull it up on the search results screen, underneath detail, you also have access to the history, and you can see everything at one time by clicking the plus sign. All right, I'm just going to close that. This little blue eye, if I were to click that, that brings up what I just looked at out on the search results screen, but the format is a little bit different. So I'm looking at it just for that list number. Okay. Then I can hit back and then do the I for the next one, and so on and so forth. So that's one of the ways that you can look up history on a listing. Next, listing collections. This is where you can save specific listings. So let's say I did a search. I'm just going to do a quick search. I use this bar a lot, this quick search bar. It'll let you quickly enter in an address, a zip code, or MLS number, or contact. There's also a video out on how you can use this fully. It's called the quick launch bar in the FlexMLS videos. All right, so I'm just going to pull that up. So let's say I'm looking at some listings out here and I'm like, oh, I want to email these or use these later for a CMA. Okay, so I'll select the listings and then I can come up here and I can hit save selected as, and then save it as a listing collection and save. Maybe I'm running late for an appointment, but I don't want to lose, the research that I already done. Okay, so now when I go back over to menu and go on listing collections, there's that collection and I can just click it open and look at the listings that I saved in there and do whatever I need to do here. If I wanted to remove a few, I can. I'll remove that one that's sitting sideways. It's kind of bugging me. Oops. And I can remove it. All right. Some other things that you can do in that listing collection screen. You've got this more button. So here, if you wanted to delete it, that listing collection, you can. If you want to give it a different name. And then view details is basically just giving you when you created it, if you updated it, the view that was used, which is the columns that you see on the search results screen, and how many listings were in there. So if I remove it, delete, yes, I'm sure. Now, just a word of caution. You may have collected listings and emailed a listing collection out to a customer. If you email the listing collection out to a customer, and then let's say 2 days later you deleted it, they will no longer have access to those listings that you emailed because you emailed them out as a collection. Okay, so just be aware of that. All right, going back into menu. Next is the MLS number search. All right. So this is someone gave you a specific MLS number that you wanted to look up. You could. So I'll type one in here, 168-2124, just guessing here. So here it's looking by default in our MLS. But if you ever needed to look up a list number that's outside of our MLS, then you can switch this and select YRX if you'd like. All right. So when I hit search, that'll bring up that listing. Okay. Now I want to show you something else with that screen. I'm just going to hit the little back browser button. You can search more than one MLS number at the same time. You can either use a comma, no space, and then the next list number, comma, no space, and then the next list number, or you can separate them by space. You can use comma, no space, or space, and type the list number. Okay, just like that. All right. Gonna backspace it out. Another cool thing that you can do here, I should have showed you the search. I'm sorry. I should have showed you how it comes up. All right, now search. All right, so there they are. All right. Just going back a screen, I'm just gonna get rid of those. Let's say you went out on a listing appointment and you came back, you did an address search on that listing appointment's address, and you found out in the past, maybe 10, 11 years ago, they were listed in our system and you found an old list number. You can do a radius search around a specific list number or multiple list numbers if you wanted to. I'm just going to show you on one because it takes a little while if you do multiples. So I enter in that list number. And then if I wanted to do a radius search around that list number, I just click this to turn it on. When it's blue, it's on. And the distance default is 1 mile. But I just want to go, let's say I want to go 2 miles. All right. And then I can look for active listings. Now, what it's going to do, it's going to look for any active properties, no matter what the property type is, within that 2 miles. Okay. So when I hit search, and I'll show you what that looks like. Also, you can do off market, so that field that had active, I can click in there. If I wanted to do sold, expired, pending, withdrawn, I can do any status that I want. So these are the 18 listings listed within 2 miles of that list number, like that. All right. So you can see this was I believe, a single family property type. All right. No, those are vacant land. All right. So if I wanted to change, if I wanted to edit something about this, I can click on edit search. So these are the listing property types that it found: single family, 2-family, vacant land, and condominium. Let's say I only wanted to look at the single family property. So I can change this and it'll open up the property type list, select single family. So now my results are down to 9. Let's say I wanted to add sold as a status from here within that, and it's actually faster on this screen than doing it on the MLS number search screen. After I've entered in sold, I can enter in a sold date range. So here I can choose either specific date range to search, or I can use this relative date icon, the little double arrows, and tell it to go 9 and switch it from days to months back. This also will go years. So you got your choice of days, months, or years. All right. So now I've got 38 properties. If I wanted to add any other criteria in here, maybe I only want to look at 3 bedrooms, I'll click add a field to search, type in whatever field it is that I want to search. So I put in bed for bedrooms. There it is right there. And let's say I just want to do 3 bedrooms. So now we're from 38 to 26. Let's say I want to add bathrooms. Say so total bathrooms. There it is right there. And I'll do a minimum of 1.5. All right, so now we're down from 26 to 24, and then I can view those results. So in a way, you can do like a comparable search from that screen if you'd like to. All right. All right, going back to menu. Next is the multiple address search. So if you need to search more addresses than one, you could. So you would enter in the street number that you wanted to do. Oops. And then I'm just making something up. Hopefully it'll come up. All right, and you can just keep on going, look for the property types. They're all selected by default, but if you only wanted to look for a particular property type, you can just select that. You can configure the statuses. It'll look for all statuses. If you only wanted to look for a particular status, you can select that. You can include all of the listings that are matching, only your office listings, or only your listings. Hit next, and then there we are on the search results screen. All right. Apparently that other address was not a valid address. But that's where you can search multiple addresses at the same time. Okay. Next, address search. If you want to search a single address, you just pop in the information here, do your county, your municipality, and search. Okay. It's actually easier to do your address search here because it's just, you're clicking tab, tab, tab in each mouse. We can do that. So there's the address. Or I'll just refresh my screen and show you how you can just quickly do it up here. 6818. Oops. So now you see where I've got the string. So every list number that that address matches, it will pull it up here up to 5. If it's more than 5, you just hit enter and it'll take you out. But you can choose a specific list number to look at if you wanted to, or if I were just to hit enter here, oops, it'll take me out to the last, to the address there. All right. All righty. We're going to leave quick search for last. We'll go into saved search. If you've saved any searches and you haven't attached them to a contact, this is where they go. A lot of agents will use saved searches as personal hot sheets. So how you just basically save a search, maybe there's an area that you like to typically look at every once in a while to see how a market is doing. So I will just show you real quick. So I'll go quick search. Let's say I want to look at vacant land. So I'll do vacant land. I will do the county of Ozaki, and then I'll do acres from 1 to 3. All right. So maybe this is something that I like to look at, like maybe every couple weeks, every month, or whatever, to see what's new in the area or available, because I loosely get people that are looking for that. So I want to save this search just so I can reuse it and not have to always manually run it. So I can go save search, and then give it a name, vacant land OZA 1 to 3 acres, and just simply save it. So I didn't attach it to a contact. This is a search that I'm just going to use. So whenever I want to run that search, I can either click on save search here if I've got it added as a shortcut, or I can go in the menu and click it there. So there it is. So just to run it, this will basically show you what's available at that moment in time now. So if you just wanted to run it just to see, what's changed, anything new come on the market, you can always create these save searches for yourself. Going back into that save search screen, if you've got a long list of searches, you can quickly search for a search by typing in the first few letters of the search name, and it'll bring up that search. If it's a search that you use a lot, you can make it as a favorite by clicking a little star next to it, and that'll add it to your favorites. So that way you don't have to go through the entire list. You can just pull up your search there. All right. You can sort your listings by view most recent, the least recent, if you've edited any of them most recently or recently, or by name. These little 3 dots, your more menu, you can view your search details. You can view if this search is set up on a subscription or add it to a subscription. You can give it a new name, or you can delete it. All right. All right. So we save the best for last. So I'm going to show you quick search. So this is how everyone will be property searching by November, but hopefully they're doing it now. So when you come into quick search, your parameters will be at the left-hand side and your map will be on the right. You choose your property type from the property type button here, and you'll have that scrolling list. So choose what it is that you want to search. Each property type has a search template that's unique to that property type. All right, so I'm searching condominium active. Let's say I want to add delayed to that and see what's out there possibly for delayed. I would like to search the county of Milwaukee, municipality of Milwaukee, and when you search a county, only the taxing municipalities for that county will show up. Okay, and if you've got multiple counties selected, the taxing municipalities for your multiples will show up. Okay. Now, let's say I wanted to search a specific zip code. I can look at the area, and I'm not quite sure of maybe what that zip code is. So if I wanted to do that, you've got this zip code field where you can either type in the zip code if you know what it is, or do find via map areas. So this way, that zip code layer was supposed to appear, and it did not. Okay, there it goes. If clicking via map area should have made that pop in there. So that's something else that I've got to talk to our vendor about. So here's the zip code, and I go, oh, okay, I want to do 53202. I can just click on top of that zip code, and if I wanted to do multiples, I can do the multiples like that, and then hit return to search results. All right, so now those zip codes are over here. Any other criteria that I want to enter in? Maybe I want to do 2 to 3 bedrooms. Maybe I want to do at least a bath and a half. So you just basically, whatever it is that you want to search, you just click it open and you enter in that information. Pets permitted. If there's a field that you like to search that's not here, like I showed you before, click your mouse in the add a field, and maybe I want to search on square footage, so I'll type in estimate. When I do the estimate, everything that has the estimate pops up for you. So year built, estimate total square footage. Keep in mind, total square footage is required entry on listing. Below and above ground is not. So if I want to search on this and I say I want to search on a minimum of 1,200 square feet, can enter that in. Okay. And then I can view my results. So these are all of my matching listings. Once I get out here and I'm like, oh, there's quite a few active with offers. I don't want to see those. I'm going to click on edit search. Now I could have did this the first time that I was in there, but I forgot. But that's good because it shows you how to go back in and edit. So that's this field right here, contingent. If I don't want those active with offers, I'm going to click that open, select with offer, and then this of, I'm going to turn that to a not. So that is contingent, not with offer. So now when I click on my results, shouldn't have any yellow boxes. There we go. All right. I'm just going to show you some items on the search results screen. All right. So now this is the property type that we're searching. That's the total number of results. I can select specific ones. And when you select them, you can isolate them on the selected 3. So let's say I was working on this and I want to email these out real quick. I can select them and then go up to email or print or wherever I want to go up here and do something without losing my total results. Okay. If I hover over the picture, notice that the mouse turns into a hand. It tells me how many photos are on the listing. I can click on the picture and it will open me up to the photos link where I can page through the photos. All right, just going to click back on list. In this area, notice when I hover over the list number, if I click on that, that opens me up to the detail page where I can look at the report and access the other links that are within detail. Okay, let's go back to list. This little icon, this little pointing down arrow, that's your additional actions menu. My options will be different than yours. You will have the match contacts. If you click this, this will run that listing against all of your contacts with saved searches and see if anybody matches it for you. That way, if there's a match, it'll bring that customer up in the screen and allow you to email that listing report right from this screen. All right, gonna click return to search results. Other things that you've got here, show via showing time. That will allow you to open up the showing time module to schedule a showing. So it brings up the property in this format. Choose how you would like to receive your appointment confirmations, email, phone, text message, agree to the terms, schedule a single showing, and then it will take you in to show you the available days and time. You just click the available time in the day column that you want, choose your agency type, indicate the name of your buyer. You can add that buyer's name. The listing agent doesn't see though. This is just for your records. You're the only person that can see this. And then once you hit yes, it sends that appointment request to that listing agent and you have to wait for it to be approved. All right, I'm just going to close out of this. If the listing is yours, you will be able to go in to edit that listing to change anything you can on the listing. You'll also have access to the listing activity report if it is yours, and also broker distribution if it is your listing. All right. Moving on down the line here, the columns that you see here, is what's called the view. I'm looking at the residential view. If I wanted to change this to the condominium view, I can. Might have some different columns that are there. Oh, I thought I had a condominium view. Okay. Oh, there it is. I'm right there. I'm blind. All right. So here is where you'll get the condominium name, if there's a unit number, and then you get the other information that we did on the residential. Okay. So that's how you can just change a view to look at some different columns. There's also a views webinar in that FlexMLS webinars on metromls.com. Moving up, these links, well, I'll show you this one. This is the default view, the thumbnail view. If you wanted to look at it in a one-line view, you can change it like that. That gets rid of the thumbnail, and then you can go back to the thumbnail view. You can also resize your column. So maybe I wanted to, pull a little bit more information in to see it. So I won't have a scroll bar down here. I could do that a little bit just by resizing my columns like that. If you've like resized it and you're like, oh God, I messed it up, that's what the reset columns button is for. And it'll put it back to its original sizes. All right. Coming up here, I showed you edit search. List is what we're looking at, the list of listings. Detail is basically, when you think detail, think data. It's the data that you can see on the listings. So there's your report that you've got selected. If you'd like to see the history of the property, you can. With condominium listings, it's looking at the address, but these are all of the unit numbers that are within that condominium property, and it's showing you right here. Okay, so if 300 was in here before, you would have to scroll down the list and kind of look for it. This is the only thing, it doesn't look at the unit for history, but if you did single family or two family, whatever, you wouldn't have all of this. And then you can just click this open, and then you can look at the history. So it was entered in on the 12th by the office assistant as a new listing. They added some documents. They added a virtual tour. They added some photos. So every time that this listing is edited, it's marked in here. All right. Next is the tax information. This is the tax record for that property. So you can see that here. The mortgage info, the information that you see here, your broker contacts Rate Plug, and they give them up to 3 lenders that they can use their information for to plug it in for your office. If your broker hasn't done that, this will be just based on general market rates that are at that time. Documents. If there's been any documents added to a listing, you'll be able to see them here. You will not be able to see listing contracts unless it is your own listing. That's why it's marked confidential. My permissions are different, so I can see everything. But things that are marked public, like lead-based paint, the condo docs, seller condition, you can see those. You can just click them open, and it'll open up in your PDF viewer so you can see what's going on. Showing time. If the listing agent is using showing time, you'll have that button there where you can schedule a showing, just like I did in that little black arrow pointing down menu. Same thing. The calculator. This is something that you can email out when you email listings to your customer. It gives them something to play with. So if they get it and go, oh, hey, maybe if I can get this property down to 200 and I've got a 15% down payment, and I can get an interest rate of 3.5 over 30 years, it kind of gives them a guesstimate mortgage payment. And there's a disclaimer down here, but it gives them something to play with. The trust fund link, that you can cover that with your broker if they've signed up for trust funds. And then zip forms, if you needed to create forms for this property. This will pull this information from FlexMLS into the zip form site. I can't show you because I don't have a zip forms account. All right. But everybody, all of you guys, by being members, you should have one for free. All right. Next, for photos. Again, this is the listing photos. And if the listing agent has added a video or virtual tour to the listing, those links are viewable here. It'll have video virtual tour, and then you can open it up and then take the tour. Okay. The map will show you the listing pins on the map. I'm just going to get rid of that overlay, that zip codes overlay, just by selecting it like that. So this start listing is the one that's highlighted over here. So if I change the listing, the star changes. So if you say, oh, hey, what's that listing? You can left click it here. Not only will it open up a little info bubble here on the map, but it'll sort you to that listing over here on the left-hand side. It's clocking, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there, why it's taking so long. Let me try another one. Up there it goes. So there it is, and then it sorted me to that listing over here. All right, and then it shows me like a little mini listing history that's here. And these are all of the units. So that's why I'm saying 266 more listings between here. So it's all of the units that are in that building, but this one is for this unit. All right. Compare. Just giving you some statistics on the listings that you've pulled into your search here. So for these 24 listings, it's giving me the average, median, low, and high for the original list price, current list price. If you had any solds in your search, would list here. The average cumulative days on market, that's total market time on an address, the price change in dollars, and the price change in percentage. There's also a search statistics function in here that you can click on that will give you more statistics. This one takes a little bit longer to load, so it may not load by the time that we need to move on here. But this is something that you can definitely play with. And then if you wanted to print it from the screen, there's a print button that's right there. All right. And there we go. So it's showing me I've got 22 active listings, 2 that are other. I'm not, is it delayed? Yeah. I'm like, what's other? Those 2 are the delayed ones down here. So it put those as other. All right. So it's giving you the average, median, low, and high statistics here for bedrooms, baths, square footage, list price, all that good stuff. Scroll down. There's a chart for days on the market and sold list ratios by market time. So since these are let's see, days on the market. Not quite sure why that is not populating. I'll have to look into that. Alrighty. Last link here, messages. If you wanted to write a message to a portal customer, the customer would have to be active on the portal. This will allow you to write a message on a specific listing to one of your portal customers. So you just type in the name of that customer, select them from the list. That'll be the subject that they go to, and then type in your message. What do you think about this? I was doing a search for someone else and I saw this and thought you might like it, and hit send message. So that message not only goes into within their portal, but it goes to their email address of record. But they have to be on the portal for that to work. Moving up here, work on behalf of contact. That's a portal function. We won't cover that. Email, we were in email before, where you can email your listings. Save, if you needed to save the search or save the selected listings, that's save. Print is if you needed to print any of the listings. So those data sheets that you were looking at on detail, you can print them out here. So these are all of the options that you can choose to print if you like. So they kind of match up to the links on the search results screen. So do you want to print that history that you saw? Did you want to print those public documents, the open house dates, the photos that you saw on the photos tab, the map that you saw on the map? So just think about what it is that you want to print, select it before you send it to the printer. Preview is your friend. Ink is not cheap. So you definitely want to make sure that you want to print whatever it is and make sure that you've got what you want. So make sure that you utilize that preview before you send it to the printer. Look at it and go, you know what? I really don't need that list of 3 at the top. So you can come here and take the list off, preview it again, list is gone. You can say, okay, that's what I want. And then you can hit the print to send it to your printer, or you can create a PDF file as an attachment to email with your own email client if you'd like. All right. CMA, that's CMA class, so we won't cover that here. And then in our More button, this is where you can use showing cards. So like we did showing time, that was for a single listing. If these selected listings, I wanted to schedule a showings on all 3 and create a tour, that's what the showing card is for. It'll pull multiple listings over. Export will allow you to export data on the listings into a CSV format. Search details will show you the details of that search, the parameter you searched on, to see the properties that you have there. And then jump to listing. This is really useless, so I'm not going to even bother to show you that. So, all right. Well, this is intro in a nutshell. Basically, go in and get your hands dirty. Do searches. Send emails to your friends of properties that they probably can't afford, or you can't afford, or maybe you could. Who knows? But just practice is the key. Just going in and sending things to yourself, maybe to see what it looks like on the customer side, so you can know both sides or be familiar at least with what your customer is seeing on their side. This will conclude our Introduction to FlexMLS webinar.